It is the 2 o'clock mark. We are still in Battleborn. We should stay here for the remaining 2 minutes of this match, but I think it's time. It's about time to have that conversation, if you can.
Jeez.
You can do 2 things at once. I'll start it.
So I just got triple teamed. That's so stupid.
Here we go. And on that
I'm sorry. Like, yeah. So what? So
here we go. Battleborn versus Overwatch. Top of the hour. We're going to be discussing how the games kind of pair off against each other and which we perceive to be better. But we should immediately sidebar that statement with the fact that these are not a one-to-one comparison. This game is much more of a MOBA. It has a single-player element.
And the fact that James Duggan is wrong.
Well, Vince has no idea what he's talking about, despite being a professional reviewer of video games. Overwatch is multiplayer only. There are less RPG elements of it. But if you just play the two, compare them side by side, I can't help but feel Overwatch is the clear winner.
So here's where I will agree with you.
Sure.
Okay. Here's where I will agree with you. I think that the second to second, the feel of abilities and things in Overwatch, it just feels better, and that's totally true. There's no two ways about that, and I'm not even trying to say that's not the case. What is happening right now? Like.
These moments happen to an Overwatch, and this is another reason why we're comparing the two. Like, they're both
I don't have
shooters.
any. You know what I wish this game had? A kill cam. I have literally no idea what happened. 1 second, it was 2-on-1, me and.
You know what does have a kill cam? Overwatch.
Overwatch. Oh, there you go. We settled it. We settled it. No, but here's what I think is the thing. Like, yeah, second to second, minute to minute, like the abilities, firing a gun, just your mobility options. It all feels so smooth and wonderful in Overwatch.
Sure.
It's way more fast. It's way faster. It's way more fluid.
Right.
So like if your question is like, hey, which game feels like great right the second when I pick up the controller?
Sure.
Overwatch or the mouse and keyboard. Hands down Overwatch. So like on that level, I can totally understand why people would be like, this game is great and this game is garbage. Like I can understand why people would feel that way because like when you play, I don't know, Call of Duty next to Borderlands, which one has the better shooting, right? Like which one do you want to shoot a gun in more? Like definitely.
But those aren't direct one-to-one analog comparisons.
Oh,
in the way that I don't, obviously we said earlier this isn't a one-to-one comparison, but they are very similar with their multiplayer only
let's just see how I did.
Modes.
Oh.
Alexia
was like, nope, you're not going to see how you did.
So the other thing that I think Overwatch has the leg up on Battleborn, and this is the big thing that has sold me on it as opposed to Battleborn. Battleborn has the single player, and maybe it gets difficult and fun at some point. That's really cool. However, Overwatch has a community that I think is just going to be continuing to snowball and get bigger and bigger and bigger. The same that Hearthstone has. The same that Here's the Storm has. And even League of Legends, I don't think is an unfair comparison where there's going to be competitive play. There is going to be a big esports buzz around that game, and you can just feel it. And when you play it and pick it up, and the barrier for entry is so incredibly low on Overwatch, I'm going to hand this over to you because we're about to jump into the game that we're talking so much about.
Oh, no. What happened?
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. It's just...
Am I good?
Yeah, nothing you need. It's just the power. Don't worry.
So here's the thing. You're totally right. I think that based it just entirely on their current trajectories, when you look at how popular the betas have been, just the general buzz and temperature of any given chat room or message board where these things are being discussed, it's pretty clear that Overwatch is going to have the better community.
Sure.
But I don't think that necessarily means that it has the richer high end of what play will look like. And when I say richer, I don't mean in terms of mechanical skill. Again, I mean in terms of that MOBA depth and decision making. Like, when are you going to go for a mercenary camp? Who's going to, deciding, prioritizing who gets the giant shards.
So what you're saying is Battleborn isn't this empty shell of what Overwatch is. It is still a game that is very well thought out. They have things going on in their multiplayer, decisions to be made, team tactics to be learned, and then they have this whole single player element as well.
Yeah, and I mean, like, even notwithstanding the single player element, I mean, like, yeah, the single player element's a part of it for sure. But I mean, it just, like, in terms of if I was gonna say, like, is Overwatch a game that I can imagine a pro team sitting down, at a desk and being like, let's draw out a game plan. Like, to an extent, maybe a little bit.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? To an extent.
But a lot of it's reactive, and I think that's another
exactly. It's all reactive.
Reason.
Exactly.
But that's great. That's the gameplay I'm looking for. I'm going to jump in right